Welcome to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruising. We've got a subscriber strategy sent in by David. It's called Cruising Splits. So David sent in a strategy. He's calling it Cruising Splits. He emailed it in to roulettecruisin@gmail.com. So if you got a strategy you want me to try out, send it to me. We'll run it out and see how it does. All right, so his strategy says, it's 13 splits across the board, and the numbers are evenly distributed across the wheel. I'll put the graphic right here. Now, if you look at the graphic, you'll see that it's like you have two good numbers and a bad number. Two good, bad. So it alternates very well around the wheel. So looking pretty good as far as the coverage goes. So 68.4% is the coverage with this strategy. So he says the units are to be $1 units. But we're going to play it at $2 units because that's typically what I'm running into on the cruise. So we're going to go $2 units. He says there's 12 whacks on the board, as you can see by the graphic. He says the payout at base level is $5. I recommend they double up on the first loss and try to gain 2 wins to recover. If you get a second loss, then go up by 1 unit per split, and again try to achieve 2 wins, then return to base level. All right, so here we go. So let's see. I'm going to buy in for $400. Let's just set this over here to the side. And we're going to buy in for $400. And remember, cash on the table. You see pass card, they'll scan it, they'll give it back to you. You put that away. That's how you get your points on the cruise, okay? All right, so 400. Now we're going to be playing with the orange chips. These are $2 each. So, okay, so I'll put the graphic up and show you where the placement of these splits are going to be. So we're going to go 13 splits. So here we go. 0, 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 3, 7, 10, 8, 11, 9, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 21, 24, 22, 23, 25, 26, 31, 34, and 32, 33. Okay, so we're going to play those same splits the entire time. According to what he says, you're to play these exact same splits, and if it loses, you double it up. Okay, if that loses, you just go up 1 chip on the exact same splits. And then after that, you have to wait for 2 wins in a row before you reduce it back down to base level. So let's run it out. I'm going to try to go 30 spins. Let's see how it goes. If it goes pretty good, then we'll just do 1 session. But if it falls apart on us, we'll try to do 2 sessions to give it a chance to do something, okay? All right, so here we go. Let me put this away here, and let's spin our first one here. All right, so at this level here, if it hits a split, it's a 5 chip profit. I'm not going to clear the board. I'm just going to pay my 5 chip profit, okay? All right, so 33. Okay, so that's a win. So that's a 5 chip profit. We're just going to bring that back to our rack, okay? All right, we're on spin 2. And I may fast forward through. I may just kind of get it going here just for time purposes because it's a lot of work once we get into, doubling up and 3, 4 chips, 5 chips, or whatever we have to get to run this system. So, all right, so 26. All right, that's a 5 chip profit. Okay, we're going to bring that back to our rack. Okay, 23. That's a 5 chip profit. Okay, bring that back to our rack. Now with that 68% coverage, it's really good coverage, and I like the way the distribution is around the wheel too. Because you got a bus number and 2 wins. The bus number, 2 wins all the way around the wheel, except that one spot it has 3 wins in a row. Okay. Okay, 35. All right, that's our first bust. Okay, so he says if you lose, we're going to take it up to 2 chips on each split. All right, so we're reset. So we have 13 splits out there, 2 chips on each. Okay, 35. That's a loss. All right, so now we have to go up to 3 chips each. And we're playing the exact same splits that we started with. We're not moving anything around. All right, there we go. 13 splits set up with 3 chips each. Okay, 22. All right, so at this level, if I was to rake everything and pay it out, that would be a 15 chip profit. So I'm just going to get 15 chips for time purposes. So there's 15 chips right there. Now, according to what he says, you have to get 2 wins in a row before we reduce back down to the base level. So here we go. Going for that second win. Okay, 30. All right, it missed. All right, so that was at level 3. So here we go. We got to go to 4 chips each now. Okay, so now we're set up. 13 splits with 4 chips each. All right, 0. All right, that's a win. So set up this way, that is a 20 chip profit. So I'm going to go ahead and bring 20 chips here. And there we go. We got to get 2 in a row. Can we get a second one in a row? Okay, 6. No, we missed it. All right. All right, so now we have to go up to 5 chips each. All right, we're set up now. 13 splits with 5 chips each. This is spin number 10. Okay, 7. All right, so set up this way. That is a 25 chip profit. Okay, so there's 25 chips right there. All right, we got to go 1 more win. Got to get 2 in a row. Okay, 3. All right, that is another 25 chip profit. Okay, so bring that back to our rack. Now we're going to reduce this back down to base level, which is 1 chip. Okay, now we're back down to base level, 1 chip each on 13 splits. This is spin number 12. All right, we're going to have a reroll. First time I've ever had it just balance on. It's sitting right on the 8, but it hadn't fell down into the slot. So we're going to do a respin on that. We're not going to count that one as a spin. Never had it set on the wheel like that. Maybe time to change out the ball. Maybe there's a flat spot on that ball, maybe. Okay, 26. Okay, that's a 5-chip profit. Okay. All right, double zero. It's another 5-chip profit. Okay, 29. It's a loss. Okay, now we got to go to 2 chips. All right, 1. All right, so that's 2 chips. So that's a 10-chip profit. We're going to bring those 10 chips right here to our rack. We got to get another win. Got to get 2 in a row. All right, this is spin number 16. All right, double zero. That's another 10-chip profit. Now we're going to drop it back down to base level. Okay, 30. Now back up to 2 chips each. All right, 15. All right, we got to go up to 3 chips each. All right, 30. All right, got to go to 4 chips. Okay, 29. All right, we got to go up to 5 chips each. Not sure if we have enough to cover here. All right, so we only have enough to cover, I think, 11. All right, that's all we got left right there. All right, let's hold on to that. All right, this is spin 21. All right, 0. All right, that's a 25-chip profit. Okay, we got to get 2 of those in a row. We need to go ahead and put these 2 back out here. So that was wrong. I actually should have gotten another $10 because I had that off there. And there's the extra 10 right there. Okay. All right, so 14. Now that's a $25 profit. Okay. All right, according to what he says, we reduce it back down. All right, double zero. 5-chip profit. All right, 19. It's a loss. Okay, 21. All right, that is a 10 chip profit. Got to get 2 in a row. All right, 1. That's another 10 chip profit right there. All right. Okay. All right, 4. It's a 5 chip win. $17. 5 chip win. Okay, 10. It's another 5 chip win or profit. Okay. All right, we're on spin 30. We're back down to the base level. We just had 2 wins in a row. Let's see if we can finish it off with a win. All right, 18. All right, that's a 5 chip profit there. We'll bring that back to our rack. Okay, so that was 30 spins. Let's see what we finished with. Okay, so we started with $400. So there's 200, 240, 280, 290, 298. So that's a loss of $102. Okay, so it's a loss of $102 in 30 spins. So let's give it another chance. We went 30 spins. I've spun this out of like 3 sessions, and I had 2 sessions that were profitable. I had 1 session I lost everything. Now this session here, we've lost a little bit. So let's see if we can let's see if it can improve. Okay, so I'm not going to make y'all sit through it all. I'm just going to reset back to the $400 buy-in, and then I'll run it out. I'll fast forward through it, and we're going to see how this session 2 does. Okay. All right, so there we are. So we got $400 again. And let's go ahead and set it up. So remember, we got splits 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 3, 7, 10, 8, 11, 9, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 21, 24, 22, 23, 25, 26, 31, 34, and 33, 32. So there they are. Here we go. I'll be right back. 30 spins. Let's see what happens. Okay, so there we have it. So I went 30 spins again, and we finished on a loss, but I'm not going to chase it any further because I'm actually in profit. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. So again, we started with $400, so there's 400. Okay, 420. There's 40. There's 450. All right, so 458. So $458 is what we finished with on that last session. And overall, I mean, the 3 sessions I played of this, I was in profit $108, profit $46. I lost $102, profit of $58, and a loss of $160. No, $260. So pretty well over those 5 sessions. It's probably close to even. So, all right. Well, David, I appreciate you sending me this strategy in. So this strategy was called, he's calling it cruising splits. We may change it to cruising splits just to kind of go with the channel. But anyway, so he's calling it cruising splits. 68% coverage on it. It's got really good coverage on the wheel. Now, is this a comp strategy? Yes or no? It could be. But you're fluctuating your bets so much that it might make it difficult for it to be something you could track. Because you're starting with only 13 chips out there. So if they're $2 chips, that's $26. So maybe every time they come by, it may be something different. So maybe one time they come by and it's 52, or it could be 26, or it could be anything. I mean, because you've got a lot going on. So could it be a comp strategy? Maybe. Would I play it as a comp strategy? Probably not, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work putting all those bets out there. It's an interesting strategy. There's probably a couple of things I would change about it. What that would be is probably maybe after you go up to the 2-chip level and you win on that, you receive 10 chips. Maybe what I would do is press those 10 chips and see if you can get an extra win out of it. That might help it to be profitable. On your first win, it only receives 5 chips profit. It's kind of hard to put 5 chips out here and try to do something with them. But maybe if I got that 10 chip profit, I would put a chip on 10 of the 13. Okay, that's probably the only change I would make, is just kind of give yourself a little opportunity to get some more profit out of it. But other than that, I don't really have anything negative to say about the strategy. I'm sure you guys, if you would, just put something in the comments. Tell us what you think of this strategy. People send these things to me. We run them out. We give them a chance to see how they do, and see if they're profitable, see if they are a good comp strategy or not, and ease of play. Ease of play is probably a little low. So how do you guys want me to start ranking these things? On a scale of 1 to 5, coverage. Of course, we're going to give it a 4 on coverage. I like the coverage. I definitely like the layout on the wheel. The coverage on the wheel looks pretty good. Let's see. As far as comp strategy, probably going to give this one a 3. It can survive, but if it goes south on you and you have to start really pouring the chips to it, it's going to kind of hurt you a lot. And profitable, it's probably going to be, I'm going to give it a 3 there as well. So there you have it. That is cruising splits sent in by David. And again, if you have a strategy you want me to run out, send it to me at roulettecruisin@gmail.com. I'll give it a chance. We'll go 30 spins. If it don't work out in one session, we'll go a second session. And if we have to, we'll go a third session to see how it goes. But this one didn't do too bad, so we went 2 sessions on it just to test it out and see how it did. So the first session, we were down $102. Second session, we were up $58. So, you know, kind of recovered a little bit. We only lost like 50 something bucks for the 2 sessions combined. All right. All right, guys, if y'all would like this video for me, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruising. And until next time, happy cruising. We'll see ya.